And we're live.
And we're live.
All right, guys. We're going to do a pretty brief one today. But as always, go to coreteamhawaii.com. See my screen here? Go to coreteamhawaii.com. You can click on these hyperlinks and see some videos that you would not otherwise see anywhere else because they're unlisted on our YouTube. Go to the bottom, hit us up for selling your home or buying your home.
Mm-hmm.
Any other real estate needs you have. Did you guys see the video from this weekend? Let us know. Drop us a comment if you saw 2 days ago video. It's going small kind viral. We're at 20 something thousand views.
Oh, really?
Oh. Yeah, in 2 days.
Yeah.
So for real estate YouTube channels, there's a lot of views all at once, especially not surrounding any, catastrophe in an area or something like that. So yeah, that thing's working. But today we're going to talk about title and escrow companies. I actually wanted to, in the next part of our team meeting, I'm probably going to bring up this conversation I had yesterday with a longtime industry expert on the island who reached out to us to maybe discuss like a consultancy role with the team. And I have some thoughts about.
Interest is peaked.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they already watched the channel. So the person like left this big company and like fans of the channel. And so I wonder if we can synergize. But the thing that sparked this topic was I made a bold statement of I don't see any reason anyone should use any other company except for X company, the title and escrow company we prefer. And surprisingly, this person said, I agree with you 100%. The other one shouldn't even exist.
Work for that company?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Actually works for a competing escrow company and real estate company. And when I explained my reasoning why everyone should use this title and escrow company and, buyers and sellers, when they get into how the selling agent tries to make it the company they prefer and the buyers make the company they prefer, we actually agreed on all fronts. So I was surprised about that. So I'll go ahead and give you some of the, what's to come. And that is First American Title.
I was just going to say, are we not going to even see that?
For us, we're being like clandestine about it.
Oh, yeah. Wow, okay.
You know why? DT used that word the other day. He's like, there's no need to be clandestine. And I was like, I would have never used it, but now I'm using them. Yeah. But anyways, Jeff, so First American Title has this Eagle insurance policy. And I'm going to tell you a story about how it kept parties out of litigation. I'll tell you another story of a one that I heard about. I can't really speak on it too much, but it would have saved some very intense litigation there as well. And so on that one, they ended up settling, but they probably wouldn't have had to settle if they drew on their First American Title Eagle insurance policy sooner. And so TG, Old Republic, Fidelity, these other companies don't offer this. We'll get into exactly what I mean. I'll explain it and break it down in layman's terms. We'll be quick and fun and expeditious about it. But we got some safe surveys.
Oh, yes.
So we have some of our surveys that we have a process where our clients that are really hot, so they're about to transact either on the seller or buy side, all the way to during the transaction, and then just after. Our assistant surveys them to just give them an opportunity to say, yeah, things are going good, but Mahe was mean to me or whatever the case may be. But I need to hear, I actually want Derek's opinion on this negotiation. And I was kind of afraid to ask Aiden or Mahe or Kenny, but I want Derek to chime in. Whatever the case may be, we're making sure to just come at them from another angle and give them an invitation to give some feedback. And we have some of those today. So we're going to run through those real quick. And then I'll get into some of the tea, why I think you should use First American.
Yes. And to our clients and our core team Hawaii Ohana, we really appreciate you guys taking the time to do these. So if you do actually, if our assistant Charlotte calls you and you have a couple minutes, we would love for you to chime in because we'd love to hear how we're doing and how we can improve. So if you have time, participate in those safe surveys. Okay. So first one is for Kenny, and this is from Letitia. He definitely listens to us, keeps up the pace, and is also a good listener. He understands and knows what we are looking for. Props to Kenny. That's super important.
Props to Kenny, especially for getting listening points.
Listening.
Because Kenny be getting talking points.
No, he's a good listener and a good talker.
Yeah. And so I'm proud of us and him for that.
Yeah. This one is for Derek and Aiden from San Juana S. They are very attentive to what I am asking of them. They're being honest, how they said they couldn't predict what the situation would be with HOA and insurance costs, things like that.
Yeah. Well, I was going to keep it real.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't like
She
to read
doesn't
my
want to read her
own.
own. So this is one about Mahe. Mahe's amazing. Oh, wait. From Christine.
Yeah.
Mahe's amazing. So it's a yes to whatever. She's excellent. She texts us, updates us nearly every day. She's super communicative, even on her vacation, which she didn't have to. She actually got her offer out while she was out of state. She's wonderful. And Christine is wonderful as well.
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah.
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 Well, thank you guys.
Yeah. Is that it?
That's it for this week.
All right, cool.
A nice little sampling for everyone.
Yeah. Thank you. So to the title thing. So there's multiple title companies. When you get into escrow, when you're writing the contract, it's the buyer's choice to choose. However, there's this culture, especially post-COVID, or intra and post-COVID hot market where sellers had all the leverage. There's this culture and expectation that the listing agent will dictate whom or what company is used. The listing agent has a relationship with Title Guarantee or with Old Republic or whatever the case may be, Fidelity, and that's who they want to use. For us, we love Tanya McBride at First American Title.
Yeah.
She's I started with another company, another person, had a huge lapse. Second, went to Tanya and never had any problem. She's amazing.
Yeah.
But I would use someone else at First American, but I really don't want to use a company other than First American. I'll tell you a story about potential litigation that didn't happen. So actually one of our earliest YouTube deals.
I remember.
Yeah. One of our earliest YouTube clients years ago bought this home. Here, I'll bring up the map and show you guys whereabouts. So this is Oahu, and they bought in Ewa Beach in the greater Ocean Point, Ho'akale area. And here, I'm going to drop our guy somewhere, or our non-binary.
It's just a yellow
thing. Just somewhere in Ho'akale. This isn't the house that I'm talking about, but just to give you an idea of the product. I mean, there's HOA, right? This street screams HOA.
Yeah.
But beautiful homes.
Beautiful cookie cutter, but also same kind colors.
Yeah.
Everything needs to look uniform intentionally, and that is where the problem arose.
Yeah. So it was disclosed that the house was painted in recent times. What was not disclosed is that the house was painted the wrong color. And the next HOA review that came around, they go around every 6 months. And
had they not had one? So I can't remember if they had already had a review. So they weren't aware that it was the wrong color.
Whether or not they knew it was the wrong color or not, we may not know.
But it was the wrong color.
What we know is the buyer was not disclosed that it was the wrong color.
Yeah.
There's the wrong shade of gray. And I guess HOA goes around every 6 months, holds up the color palette. Ooh, this gray is slightly off. And so you would say, well, don't you, every house you help people buy in an association, have an association review to make sure it's the right color, unless it's the original paint? And while that would be nice, it takes months you got to order, wait for, and then get the results back for the association review. Escrows don't last that long. And so it's the only time it doesn't really happen. Yeah, I've spoken to brokers and
also,
escrow
though,
officers.
I vaguely remember on this one, they went to the HOA and asked them, but they got the number off by 1 digit.
Yeah, it was like a shade.
Yeah.
Shade.
Yes.
And so anyway, association comes back around and says your house is the wrong color paint. You need to paint it by X amount of time or you'll start getting fines. Repaint the house or you'll start incurring fines.
Yeah.
I think it was going to cost about like $6,000 to get the grays back to the gray that they should be. And as a buyer who isn't a real estate agent, isn't a real estate professional, they called me and they're like, hey, what are you going to do to litigate against these people? But the thing is we aren't a party to the transaction. We are facilitators. So the transaction is between a buyer and a seller. and outside parties can't litigate. Like Mahi and her husband have problems. She can't be like, Derek, can you go talk to my husband? Like, no, it's your problems. I'm on the outside. And that's kind of how that goes. I mean, it's not the best example, but that's how that goes. And so it started to intensify, and the person was military and they had free legal, and they're like, I'm pursuing, suing for damages. And I just so happened to speak to our First American title rep about it. And they said, oh, you used us for this? And they're like, yeah, you guys were the title and escrow company. And she's like, oh, we'll probably fix it. I was like, what do you mean? This has nothing to do with.
It has nothing to do with anything you guys did, really.
In my opinion, I'm like, you guys facilitate the transaction from a state compliance, like they submit this packet to the Bureau of Conveyances at the city and make sure it records, and land trust and all this stuff, or land court. And I was like, why would you pay for paint?
Yeah.
And she says, oh, do you not know about our Eagle insurance policy? I was like, I heard about it. What is it? And she says, yeah, well, if there is a non-disclosure of a material fact, then potentially the First American title Eagle insurance policy will rectify the problem that the buyer inherited through non-disclosure. And long story short, they ended up paying to get the house repainted.
That's crazy.
I've asked TG about it. I've asked other people. They're like, no, like they don't even believe that First American does it.
Yeah.
But I have actual experience with First American tapping into this. Now, let's get into the deal. So recently we submitted an offer, and as we always do, it had First American title. And then the person on the other side, the listing side, countered a bunch of things, including the title and escrow company.
Right.
Now, the seller should also want First American title.
Yeah.
Because what if they screw up? And what if they accidentally didn't disclose something?
Yeah.
That insurance policy is insurance for all. It
prevents all parties from having to deal with a messy litigation down the road. Or, I mean, knock on wood, hopefully it's totally fine. Nothing ever comes of it. You never have to worry about it. But very early on in my career, I saw firsthand what the difference is between choosing that company and a different company.
Yeah.
Sometimes sellers will have started the listing work. Like, for instance, when we have a listing coming soon, we're already talking to our title and escrow.
So they ordered a prelim.
They've got the
preliminary title report.
They've been running net sheets. They've been discussing and collaborating. So that, sometimes they may want to preserve the relationship with somebody because, we already started. But at the end of the day, I think, especially for a buyer, it's very important to, if it's not going to be the deal breaker, because sometimes it absolutely is for a crazy reason.
Yeah.
To pursue that, to have that option open to you so that you can protect yourself in case something like that happens.
There could be reasons that I would the number one reason I would allow a deal to not have First American title is the buyer stands to lose the deal.
Yeah.
And it's not that important to them because the probability of it mattering is
very low.
Actually fairly low.
Yeah.
If we're being honest, is fairly low. And I get no money. I'm like, this is not a paid ad.
Yeah.
It's just truth. But if there's multiple offers and the seller side is really stuck on using a different company, and the buyer's like, well, I don't want to lose the house. What's the chances that I need to repaint this or that there was some non-disclosure? In fact, it'll just raise my awareness and I'll be extra diligent when I look through disclosures. So let's just use the company they want because I want the house. That's one reason. Another reason might be contingent sale, where this other company's already handling the contingent sale, or a 1031, and multiple dominoes have to fall, and those dominoes are already on the table of the other company.
Yeah. And then maybe they can facilitate funds to close faster because they're handling the sale, and which then go to the purchase. The other reason, and out of our control, is sometimes new constructions, they have a designated escrow, and it's not First American.
That's a good point.
So sometimes you don't get to choose, and you don't have a say in that. And I think that new constructions, even if it's just like within Ho'opili or within Gentry, they cycle around they don't all use, their whole entire project doesn't just use one escrow. Otherwise, because there's so many homes being built, they'd just be inundated with files.
Oh,
so you can buy a certain, complex in Ho'opili and be First M. You can buy another complex and be Title Guarantee or Old Republic. So, if you're buying new construction, that's another reason that, you don't you don't get a say in that either.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. You want to go do some work?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Mike's always like, I love talking to our people, but I also have work to do.
I got to do some stuff. So Jodie's going to come.
Yeah. So Jodie's going to sit down. Jodie from Pacific Rim Mortgage. And Jodie, you already heard, we're talking about what title company to use. We personally love using First American Title because of the Eagle insurance policy. And
well, there's a lot of other reasons, right?
Well, that's one of the big reasons. I've also just had nothing but positive experience and high service with them. Is First American your preference?
Yeah.
Yeah? How come?
Service.
Yeah.
Because when we need to get a hold of the escrow officers and we need answers. Like, we need them quickly. And so a lot of times, people know who we are. People know who you are. At the end of the day, there's still only so much time in the day. So another escrow officer from another escrow company, they may take a little bit longer to get back to us. And so when we're working with First Sam, they just are faster to get back to us. And I just actually texted Curtis and I was like, hey, how much is an escrow fee for like a $5.5 million purchase? Because we have a template and it doesn't, what's funny?
I thought you had a Google Pixel for a minute.
Oh.
I was like, did you go green bubbles?
Oh, heck no.
Oh my gosh.
Heck no.
All right.
And so we can get those answers quickly. And that's why it does. And we explain it to, a lot of newer agents. And then we explain it to our buyers. Like, why does it matter? Because a lot of buyers are like, oh, we don't care. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm like, but it does matter when we need answers.
That's the thing, is most people think it doesn't matter. We have questions and comments? Okay. I'll get to them in a minute. You allude to something that I wanted to prompt you on. And that is, I started with another person at another company and doing a deal with them, and it just wasn't good. And granted, it was during COVID and I was small potatoes and I definitely wasn't prioritized, but I could have lost out on a lot of money. I was buying a flip that I was going to flip this property, and it just wasn't getting attention. And now granted that like the IRS was shut down and there were tax liens and certain things, just, I get it. I have a little bit of forgiveness on it, but the ball was dropped. And so I asked an old mentor of mine, who to use. And he said, Tanya McBride, First American. I said, why? And he said, she's not out taking people to lunch. She's at her desk doing escrow officer things. And that's been my experience since. A lot of agents or people in this industry, even, chronic buyers and sellers, flippers, for example, actually, most of the flippers use this one person because she's good with like LLC docs and all the stuff around flipping. But just there's vanity. People use or send business to other people based on who takes them to lunch and who blows up their ego and things of that nature. I've never gone to lunch with First American. And actually, that's my preference.
Yeah, we haven't either, but we've collaborated with them a lot.
I've done a lot of work with them, but I've never gone to lunch with them. Like, we've never had that vanity, but we've gotten to work and gotten shit done. Excuse my language.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you and I have gone to lunch. We had a smoothie once and we had a lunch once.
Did we have a lunch?
Yeah, it was in the old office area. It went like down to earth once.
Oh.
But I think that's, if your age, if your doctor were on Instagram, going to lunch with medical sales reps and posting it,
right,
it may not, exude the most confidence in that process, right? Like, am I getting this Pfizer thing or like Medline pick line because you guys went golfing, or because it's the best pick line? That's just been my experience. So a little behind the scenes about the way we think about these relationships, either with each other, with our title and escrow company, etc. All right, I'll get into some of these questions in here. Let me see. Kenj, help me out. John, thumbs up. Oh, is it true that rising insurance rates are affecting housing purchases, rentals, etc.? I saw something about this on KHON the other day. Yeah. We've talked about it on this channel multiple times. Long story short, insurance costs are going up, and it's a result of the insurance industry being dried up of funds after these large disasters. In addition to costs going up, people have turned and paid more attention to the insurance policy. So it was found that people had sort of tricky, convoluted, insufficient insurance policies. So not only is the cost of insurance higher, but getting to 100% is a thing that's caused a lot of these costs to go up. So short answer is, yeah, and we've reached an understanding and a tempo, a pace on this insurance thing that we get it. Our
Right.
team and your team really get it. But there was a time about a year ago where there were even new things for you. Like 20 years in the business, you were like, I've never focused on city ordinance ABC. Like what?
ABC. I never
Like
even
what is
heard about
this?
it.
Yeah.
I did not know about the difference between the deductibles.
Yeah.
I mean, those never came up
Yeah.
ever. Like if it had the verbiage 100% replacement cost coverage, that's like the special line. If it had that verbiage, we're done.
Yeah.
Insurance is done. We didn't even pay attention to insurance. We told borrowers they didn't have to make their final insurance decisions until like 10 days before closing. Now we're like, sorry, you need to make the decision this week so that we can make sure it gets into underwriting, so that we can make sure they're going to approve the policy and that you have insurance.
Yeah.
Because that's, of course, a loan requirement.
And I have a sister-in-law and a brother-in-law that both are in the insurance industry and have been for a long time. And they had never seen some of the things that were happening, but then their mentors who are 60 and 70 years old, who are titans in the insurance industry on Island, they're like, we've never seen some of the things that are happening. So there's unprecedented times.
It's just like it's such a unprecedented time.
Yeah.
Like that word, but it really is.
It's literally, people say unprecedented, sort of throw it around, but there was no precedence for what was happening.
No.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. And now there is a comfort level in rules.
Yeah.
And then there is also a comfort level in finding who is going to be able to create a solution, even when there may or may not be the necessary coverages.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that is still ever changing and evolving, but now at least we know that there are options.
Yeah, but then the pace at which it's evolving is not like last year around this time, I believe it was, every week or two, we were like something new to underwrite that we never underwrote before.
Mm-hmm.
So John, short answer is yes. And if you're going to buy in an HOA, we just pay attention. So pay more attention to reserve studies and litigation, things that underwriting always paid attention to. But is the building concrete? Is it steel? Who's the insurer? Susavio is an insurer or insurance broker that oftentimes had, and at least a year ago, the policies that you would see that they had written or she or her team had written were insufficient. But then Coconut Plantation and Ko'olina has full coverage, and they were Susavio. So whoever was on that board decided to get the right plan and not get the cheapest plan. And so, was there another question?
That's a comment.
Oh, okay, go for it.
The other thing really, speaking to John's comment and question, would be that when there is an increase in the cost of insurance, there's a decrease in the overall qualifications.
For the buyer.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep in mind, because those are direct, that's a direct link.
Yeah. So if your payment is going to be $5,000 a month, but then now it's going to be $5,100, you qualify for a little less home potentially if you're near that debt to income ceiling.
Right.
So that's a good point. And it might not be the home's fault, or initially it's not a problem of the purchase price, but it could be that the purchase price has to adjust to get the deal done because insurance is going to cost more. Yeah. JJ French says, excited to be watching from Oahu this week.
Oh,
Excited to have you as well. John, thanks for taking my question. I'm learning a lot just by watching your live streams. Thank you, John. I've been thinking of having this, and Ken, we may have talked about this before, but we should probably have these Tuesday audios uploaded through Buzzsprout to all the podcast platforms and just have a Hawaii real estate podcast because it's relevant and we just repurpose it. And our assistant could maybe do that, or we'll see. But I take the same approach to advising you on a contractor, on a home inspector, lender, etc. It's not because they take me out to the best lunches. Oh, Derek, you're a top producer. You're so great. In fact, I hate it. When I was coming over to the company I was coming over to, this person was telling me, you already know who I'd be talking about, but was saying, you're the best agent I've ever seen. You're just so hardworking. I'm so impressed. I've never seen anyone like you. And I hated it because it just wasn't real. And it's not productive. It wasn't going to lead to the best outcomes for my team, which wouldn't lead to the best outcomes for our clients and our partners. And I hated it. So this is if for other people trying to get close to Core Team Hawaii, this would probably be a good playbook on how not to. But rest assured that if we introduce you or give you options for home inspectors, it's not because they take me out to lunches. In fact, if they start to spend too much time courting me and participating in vanity, I'll probably cut that relationship. Same with First American Title, which was the title of this this live stream and podcast, and same with our lender, Pacific Rim Mortgage. It's not because we go to lunches, because we actually don't. But our teams work really smoothly together. Handle that and the thing.
hey.
So yeah, our teams work really smoothly together, and actually our teams are structured somewhat similarly. And that could be Jodie's been in the business longer than me. So as I was developing business, I'd pay attention to their business. I'd pay attention to other businesses. How do they have their assistant structure? Like, how does the client experience? So the client touches this person, then the face of the business, Jodie or Derek, and then reverts back to the team, or, how's the client experience? Handle that. What's up, Derek? Do you take on part-time realtors on your team? Interestingly enough, handle that. I mean, you've been a long time,
Yes.
you've been a long time watcher and
yes.
commenter, so we'd love to just meet you. But typically, no. For Core Team Hawaii, we do not have part-time agents. That's my easy short answer. You could be in our world and have proximity to us at this company as a part-time agent, and who knows, maybe even like Mahe has a deal and you live, wherever you live, Kaneohe, and so it would be perfect for you to sit the open and to maybe even do some showings in Kaneohe on that deal, and you're like adjacent to proximal to Core Team Hawaii. But for our core team, you got to be full-time and obsessed with the craft. I mean, it just doesn't fit if you're part-time. So we can talk. Hit me up. You got my numbers, our website, like register on the site, hit me up on IG. Come out of hiding, bro.
Yeah. Who are you?
Come out of
Who
hiding.
are you?
Love watching your live streams. Even though I don't comment often, I still watch every video. James, thank you. Did you see our video from this weekend?
I didn't. But someone sent me, like, they shared me the like a clip from it.
Really?
When we were talking about Kailua. And then and then
who sent it?
My friend April. I mean, yeah, we're friends. We used to work out together like 15 years ago.
Okay.
And so we've stayed in touch, like, through socials. Like, we don't see each other.
Okay.
And so it was funny because she sent it to me in my stories in Instagram. So I don't even know how she did it. Like, I'm like, how did you get it? So it was just that one scene or whatever.
Maybe she screen recorded or something.
And then I said, she goes, I've watched Core Team once before. Like, she said she had already watched you once before, but that was like long time ago.
Uh-huh.
And then she goes, and then it just showed up. And she was like, wondering why it showed up on her feed, because on her YouTube page, because she was like, is it because you were in it or what? And I'm like, I don't know. Like,
Maybe the algorithm is at
right?
work.
yeah.
Yeah.
But she was like, oh my God. Yeah. And she said she watched the whole thing and she subscribed and like,
Oh, that's
yeah.
cool.
Hey, wait, Jodie,
So-
did Derek see the show then shot out or what?
I don't think he's seen it
Oh,
yet,
okay.
but I need to show it to
Oh.
him.
He,
Yeah.
no, he would probably read the manuscript rather than watch the video.
He doesn't like videos.
Yeah,
No, he's
yeah.
starting to like them.
Really?
He sees the light.
He sees the light. Okay.
He has a
I don't
camera.
know if this will, Kenj, will actually give sound.
No.
No, the people won't be able to see it.
Actually,
All right. Well, here
you
I'll
can show it though.
ad lib over. All right. So Kenji's gonna show the screen. I may or may not have watched this intro about 20 times. So I'll ad lib over. So here I'm going. What did I start by saying? I said,
Doing like
Yeah, what is
saltwater pool.
yeah, a saltwater pool, maybe the best sweeping views in all of Hawaii, and a helicopter pad. And then it goes in, welcome to Hale Makaha. And there's this intense, what's the word, dramatic music with a violin and Kenji speeding it up and slowing it down. And we stayed far enough away not to show the dad bod. We have some videos of, I mean, it's just, this is one of my favorite videos that we've ever produced, especially the sort of the cinematic. Is that the right word, Kench? Like the cinematic
Yeah.
effect, the dramatic cinematic. Even this little speed up, slow down, the way you did that right there.
Yeah. Now,
It's
we
like
had-
you
we had to
sped
ham it
up.
a little bit for this one.
Yeah.
So.
It's like you sped up and then you had a little section of like speed up a little more just to slow down. It created this, I don't know. It just brought me into the video so much. And it's a really cool house in Makaha. I mean, look at the
It's so
the
nice.
views and
We were lucky with the weather too.
we got lucky with the weather. It's a time of year where it's all green. Also, go in here and check out the comments. We all kind of hate, all kind of, just we got it from every angle, but heavy is the head that wears the crown. And we are at the top of the Oahu YouTube real estate space. So we're going to get the smoke, But this is a really cool video. If you haven't already seen it, go check it out. Do me a favor. Let your phone run. If you go check it out for 2 minutes and put your phone down, just let the video run. Give us a high average view duration or wait until a time where you can watch it in its entirety. But this is a really cool house.
So nice.
And I'm hoping someone watches these videos, hits us up and wants to buy it. We're not the listing agents. So shout outs to Justine and Juliet, who are the listing agents. But all right, I'm going to check my phone for a few more questions. We got to get going.
Photos today?
We're doing team photos. So you're going to see some new headshots and
Nice.
stuff, which I appreciate because some of these agents, they took that glamour shot in the mall in 1988. You got the,
I was just thinking about updating mine.
yeah. I mean, I've not aged in reverse since our last photos. I look at the photos and I'm like, man, I looked younger back then. I've even gotten some of those comments. So it's not that I want to have older looking photos, but I like keeping it real. So here
Yeah.
we go. Kenji scheduled it.
Jodie,
Ha-
you should stick around too.
Handle that. Yeah, understandable.
Are you doing it here?
I'll hit you up soon. I watched Kowenzimek. I watched that Hale Makaha video. It was great. I watched it a couple of times already. Oh, thanks. I appreciate
Aw.
that. I love watching your live streams, even though I don't comment off that. Oh, yeah, we already seen that one. All right, guys, we're going to get to our escrows. We're going to go on the other side of this room, go over all of our clients who are in escrow. We have, I believe, 12 active for core team, 22 for our other company. And so we're pumping. Talk to you guys next Tuesday. See ya.